Hi guys, welcome to the video log. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate your precious time. I'm Stuart Jeffrey. I work for Tacit Knowledge. I've been in e-commerce for about 15 years. I'm fortunate enough to head up both our global business consulting and client engagement teams. Joining me today is my colleague, Michael Schultz. Hey Michael, how you doing?
Thanks, Stu. My name is Michael Schultz. I'm the Global Director of Products and Services for Tacit Knowledge. I joined a little over 18 months ago. Prior to that, I've been working for SAP and SuccessFactors for about 10 years, and I'm looking forward to sharing our retail journey with you guys.
Cool, thanks Michael. So I guess before we get into the content for today, and we're really going to be focusing on how you keep up with the needs of the business, the pace of change, and the needs of your customer. We're then going to go on to talk about some of our solution thinking, our thoughts around innovation to really bring this new retail reality to life for you as part of your digital transformation programs. This will include a small demonstration by Michael, and then we'll go on to also talk about the post-purchase experience that we think is really important to the overall customer experience. Before we get into that, I try not to bore you too much, but a little bit about us. Tacit were formed in 2002. We're headquartered in San Francisco, and we really believe that software is our craft, and we're a DevOps and automation focused company. We're engineering led, and really try to be that technology and business consulting trusted advisor for our clients. We've actually got about 25 SAP Hybris customers now doing full replatformings both in North America and across Europe. We partnered back in 2009, so we are one of the longest standing and mature partners within the partner ecosystem. So that means that we've got that gold status that everybody tries to get to, and we were fortunate enough to win back-to-back Partner of the Year and Service Delivery Partner of the Year in EMEA. So I think that gives some credibility to the great work that our teams have been doing over the last 7 years with Hybris. So now let's talk a little bit about replatforming and why make the change. I think the late, great Michael Jackson said, make that change. And we're seeing a lot of prospects and clients now wanting to replatform their solutions for the future. So ultimately, many people decide to make that change because they're just unable to deliver against their brand needs. They aren't able to take new features, integrations to market on time, maybe going into 6-month delivery cycles or even year-long delivery cycles, and they aren't able to keep that pace of change that the consumer or business customer really demands of their companies. Business tooling is I guess a real bugbear of mine personally, being on the client side for many years. They've become outdated. We're finding that business users now expect the same experience in their applications as what the consumers do. So in terms of managing content and promotions and such alike. So we're also seeing that staff within our company or within our clients, they may not be focusing on the right things. They may be focusing more on maintaining and operating the site rather than trading the site and focusing on the business value side of their companies. We also see change, a big demand and driver for change around omnichannel and internationalization goals. That was a bit of a tongue twister. That could be through multi-currency needs, multilingual needs as companies expand, especially into Asia and into Europe. And you've got to have the right platform to enable that sort of scale, which dovetails nicely to the overall scalability and stability needs. It's become a standard expectation as any sort of digital transformation or technological replatforming project. And then finally, the total cost of ownership. Whenever any organization is looking to make this change, they want to essentially reduce their TCO. That could be reducing calls to for technical support, reducing those requests, decreasing hosting costs and those sorts of things, and looking to adopt cloud solutions. So ultimately, the thing that I'd leave you with around why make a change is that the pain is real, and we see these challenges every single day. So now to talk about replatforming and the challenges, and of which there are many, and we can't go on to all of them in today's blog, but the main ones that we see from our perspective. Firstly, business disruption. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Whenever you embark upon these major transformations, they're going to invariably pull upon the same teams and same resources to focus both on the day-to-day operational needs and then the needs of the actual project or program of work itself. So that's something to pay particular attention to, and that links nicely to the organizational design. We strongly recommend that there are dedicated delivery teams and product owners to avoid having to go back up and down the decision-making chain, so that you can be agile during the project itself. Integration with legacy solutions is the one that, that's always a major challenge of these projects for any systems integrator. We often see what we call spaghetti architecture in our enterprise customers. And our main message here is pick your battles. Look to find those opportunities to either retire or place solutions, but don't try and go with a big bang approach, because ultimately we find that those sorts of approaches can lead to project failure. And we like to go iteratively and incrementally through the change, both from a product roadmap feature set perspective and also from that technology landscape perspective. There's always a risk of failure with embarking upon a new relationship. Whenever you're undertaking some sort of digital transformation, you're invariably going to be working with a number of different partners or different vendors. And the main point we make here is that when you're choosing a partner, pick one that truly understands your business goals and one that aligns with your culture, somebody that can actually advise you and coach you through whatever change that you might be embarking on, not just on the technology side, but also around change management and overarching software delivery. Of course, there's also a risk of failure, and a lot of companies, they can become very stagnant because of this, just general risk to failure. Maintaining the status quo is a lot easier than change. So again, we recommend to our prospects and customers really focus on that discovery phase and gathering the requirements early to build out that blueprint for the solution that you will embark upon. And then finally, the transformation and implementation costs. I think if we look back 5 years ago, our experience was that you'd have a big spike for an implementation cost, and then that would level out to a much lower support and ongoing costs. So we recommend to our customers to look at new and flexible commercial models as you embark upon this change. That could be through amortization of cost across a number of years and looking more to an annuity-based type commercial model rather than the peaks and troughs. And that will help you. It will help your partner. It will certainly help your CFO and your accounting teams, because the spend would be more predictable in such a model. So I think that really covers some of the challenges. The main point again here is that this is really, really hard, and we've got a lot of experience in delivering these sorts of solutions across a number of verticals, retail, brands now going direct to consumer and across B2B as well. So before I hand you over to Michael and he'll talk you through some of our solutions thinking here, I just wanted to touch upon a really, really good study that was made actually last year now by Chief Martech. So if you look at the slide around the overarching technology landscape in marketing, so covering customer engagement and commerce, you see in 2011 there were maybe a few hundred options. But 5 years on, in 2016, you see that there are now thousands and thousands of endpoint solutions that can invariably be integrated into your e-commerce platform. So that's obviously made it very confusing for clients, very confusing for prospects. So one thing that we've done as part of our solutions thinking is to do that analysis for you on your behalf. So we've gone to market and done our due diligence to pick the best of breed partners around payment service providers, around cloud hosting, around email service providers, and much of the point solutions that you would see depicted in this slide. So I'll leave that with you. Hopefully we've taken that pain away as part of our solutions thinking. So Michael, perhaps if you can tell us what you've been working on in terms of the product and some of the exciting innovation that we're bringing to market this year.
Thanks, Stu. So Stu shared a lot of the challenges of retailers and brands and merchants in the market. Many of them we call our clients. We actually have a little over 400 clients out there in North America and in Europe. And we did a lot of innovation for them. And innovation is not just product innovation. Product or innovation means you can innovate on products and services with people and processes. So we want to show you how we solved for that, overcoming all these needs and challenges with the help of SAP Hybris. So if you look at the SAP Hybris Magic Quadrant, you can see that it gives you a pretty good landscape of the different e-com platforms in the market. And if you think about it, a few years ago, a typical replatforming project would occur every 3 to 4 years. And depending on complexity, similar to what Stu said, it took 9 to 12 months, if not longer, over a year sometimes. And we wanted to select and build on a platform that is future-proof, but still features the flexibility and the support of the customer's brand wherever it needs to go. Therefore, we selected the best e-com platform in the market and made that our core offering. If you look at what we developed and innovated around MCommerce, you can see Hybris at the core, and then we went out to market to do that due diligence that Stuart alluded to and pick our preferred partners. We applied a lot of due diligence, select those third-party solutions to really provide a holistic offering to solve the retailers' problems. On top of that, we've integrated delivery services, fulfillment services, and returns management capabilities that all add on to the overall offering that we took to market. We also listened to that retailers don't want to take about 10 or more relationships and talking to different vendors. Therefore, we innovated around the commercial model. So we looked at the business models and the approach to commercials, deployment, support, and everything like that. Another view of actually looking at that from a time to market perspective, we're looking at a typical deployment there. And if you look at this chart, you can see that the blue line really highlights what a traditional Hybris implementation or any implementation of an e-com backend really sort of meant in terms of timing. And if you look at the orange one, is actually the innovation that we drove to reduce a lot of that time and effort that we put into the development. So this chart shows you that this approach is not just a couple of project management methodologies and delivery best practices. Integration is, sorry. This chart shows you that this approach is not just a couple of project management best practices and methodologies mixed with some delivery best practices. This actually shows you that we've innovated on top of what a typical accelerator or best practice approach is. Stuart talked to that. Integration is always the greatest amount of effort to overcome. Data migration will always be the same. It's pretty much on its own, but you can see the different innovations that we drove for things like promotions, pricing, and search. Everything has been templatized and productized for reuse. Stuart alluded to that Tacit is really a nerdy, geeky shop. We've engineered and productized a lot of our intellectual property so we can reuse that. We can give all those integrations and this IP and features bundled with our consulting and delivery experience to our clients to help them go to market faster. Everything is tested, proven, automated, and we just can deliver high quality faster. When we actually delivered MCommerce, we focused on 4 mantras that we built in our sort of e-com expertise that we've gained over the last 15 years. Number 1, speed and agility. Everybody says that out in the market, but we believe that we actually found a way to market faster simply by the innovation that we drove in there. And what that allows the customer to do is reap those benefits much faster. So whether it's around revenue growth, increase in conversion, what have you. The second one is cloud commerce. We always talk about digital transformations, and at Tacit, we've delivered digital transformations over the years in a variety of deployment options. So whether it was on-premise, in a private cloud, in a public cloud, or other sort of hosting environments that were out there. Yet we wanted to take full advantage of the cloud infrastructures that are out there in the market, specifically around scalability, faster deployments, or how quickly we can push code out, how quickly we can push features out. Thirdly, Artificial and machine learning, probably the two hottest buzzwords that are almost used interchangeably, but mean very, very different things. In either case, we leverage both capabilities to power things like auto segmentation for customers, monitoring and analyzing environments, and respond to changes in a way that we can help our customers, whether it's customer recommendations based on the enormous amount of data that we're capturing as part of the customer journey. We've all sort of baked that into our offering. Mobile commerce was certainly a hot topic. For us, it's really the idea of leveraging everything that we've built, irrespective of the device, whether it's small or large, whether it's the user experience or streamlining the purchase experience through things like Apple Pay or product recommendations with POS systems. We've built everything in, no matter what the device is. So when we look at the customer experience, we knew that we had to drive a lot of innovation on the front end. So we built an abstraction layer that really helped us to take away the complexity that might be hidden in some of these e-com backends. And we built a mobile experience that can be extrapolated from the smallest device all the way to 5K monitors. So if you wanted to interact with your device in a store with a retailer and you want to do retailing, you can do all of that with the solution at hand. We built dynamic imaging that really helps customers reduce the friction around just simply digital asset management and reduce the load and increase the speed to deliver content and imagery. Stuart alluded to the inherently great capabilities of SAP. So whether it's multi-currency, multi-language, multi-sites, obviously having grown up in Europe, you would have to build all this complexity in for the market. We've taken advantage to really help our brands and their sub-brands to deliver and articulate their brand storytelling that's unmet in the market. We also help the customers to be innovative around the edges. So it's not just selecting a big monolithic architecture or platform. We want to innovate around the edges with things like multivariant testing. So whether it's part of offering different customer experience to test new ideas, new features, or just deliver custom tailored content to users, we can do all of that. One of the great innovations that I think we also built is what we call the active style guide. So it's really enabling retailers to always be on top of the brand experience and propagate new changes in the design or the brand. SAP and Tacit know how to build bulletproof and long-lasting digital platforms, but we also know we have a way to quickly change the full brand experience on the ever-changing trends in the market. So now I would like to jump into a little bit of a demo. The demo store that we've built, similar to a simple SAP accelerator, is what we call Willow. You'll see a typical user experience, a typical interaction with the system, but you're pretty much, I hope so at least, asking yourself what we've done on top of that. And if I think about an e-com platform, it's really, or at least in the last couple of years, it was a marketing funnel to get people to buy products. These days, in the age of the informed consumer, a platform really helps retailers to merge content and commerce, to tell a compelling story, to create a purpose and an intent to buy for the customer. And our innovation allows retailers to do that. So we really allow retailers to tell stories about their brand, their purpose. We help them to take the mundane tasks out of managing products and services or other vendors. And we help them to sell products because that's ultimately what they're best at. And you probably ask yourself how we do that. And the way that we did that is we build a future-proof foundation that allows them to scale, to grow and mature the business. On top, we provide that abstraction layer that I alluded to earlier, and that really helps them with their design and their brand. We improved usability, user experience for the customer. We improved searchability and usability of the product and service catalogs that they have on offer. And all that, we round that off by a managed commerce offering that allows for 24/7 support and business assistance. But most importantly, it allows them to run their business better. So you've sort of seen the user experience, the interaction with a typical e-com storefront or e-com backend. And you think about, so what's next? So you sort of hit the purchase button and your adrenaline runs high, your emotions are running wild, And that happens when you buy something and you get that sense of confirmation. And that's exactly what's happening. You get that confirmation email. And for a lot of companies and platforms, that's actually the end of the digital experience. With Tacit Knowledge and logistics, that's not really the case. We just don't stop after the checkout and that confirmation email. We do order fulfillment, we do deliveries. We also manage your returns management, all the processes that are required from a physical side. And during all of that, we continue to provide digital touch points to the customers so they have an enormous user experience along the way. We will realize the end-to-end vision and provide merchants and customers with a view into e-com like never before. So the latter part of that end-to-end vision is really owning and being the authority in the post-purchase experience. Last year, Logistics, Tacit Knowledge's parent company, launched a new tracking portal that would allow merchants to better interact with the end consumer as part of that post-purchase experience. So effectively, it's taking the tracking details from that email confirmation and making it into a customizable, fully responsive website that provides tracking updates to the minute, that is clear and easy to understand. Last year, we not only deployed that solution, but we also added 200 of our top clients using that solution for their end customers. Everything is in responsive design, can be used on any device, is customizable. You can include marketing communication imagery, you can drive content, promotions, click-through, as well as social media links to drive additional integration with social engagement. We also added additional flexible tracking and multi-carrier support. So in early January of this year, we launched support for multi-carrier tracking. So not only logistics, but UPS, FedEx, USPS, R.R. Donnelley, DHL, all those are eligible to be tracked via the tracking and returns portal that we've built. And I'm going to close with some exciting enhancements on the road ahead to further improve our merchants' ability to create a positive post-purchase experience. So a few of these things are, we're exposing site configurations, so really helping the merchant in the back office to modify the experience based on their brand. We're adding marketing, communications, imagery, and content to those. We're exposing APIs for analytics and big data insights. We've selected a single unified platform to initiate message updates on behalf of our customers through short SMS codes. We're running product recommendations, but overall, we want to maximize the engagement as part of the post-purchase experience and drive as much value as possible to our client, including conversation opportunities through recommendations and upsells. We'll evaluate a flexible carousel logic that can incorporate recommendations from a variety of different services in the event that a merchant has their own preferred solutions. In the event that they don't, we can leverage our MCommerce internal recommendation solution to provide insights on recommendations. And I would like to sort of close off here and hand over back to Stu to wrap it up.
Lovely. Thanks, Michael. I think it's really exciting, all of the innovation that we've built over the last year, 2 years now, actually. I think if we really focus on like the two key facets, in our overall strategy, we're trying to combine a couple of things. One is that marriage between content and commerce, and the other is the marriage between physical and digital commerce. So by providing those two facets as part of our overarching solution, we hope that this is going to really deliver value for our customers so that they can outthink, outperform, and outlast their competition. So I guess that leaves me to say thank you very much for your time. I know you've probably seen a million of these before. Hopefully it hasn't gone on for too long, but yeah, if you would like to get in touch with us, Michael and I would love to to hear from you and to talk in more detail about the great solutions and research and development we're bringing to the market this year. So thank you very much.